Okay, guys, here we are with some of my impressions on the game, on Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster. I'm gonna go straight to the point because I don't think this thing warrants a very long video. But in definitive, if you have played the original game, you can definitely skip this one, in my opinion. If you're a guy that has never played the original and wants to get into the series, I suggest you play the original. If you can withstand some jank, I definitely suggest you play the original. Also because it's cheaper, so you don't need to spend a lot of money. I mean, a lot of money, 30-40 bucks to see if you like it. Just buy the original, it's very cheap, and that's it. Or if you want to wait for a price drop on this one, but I wouldn't suggest it. When the original is around, it's way more cheap. But like I said, it all depends on whether you can tolerate some jank from the 6th generation. The original game is still perfectly playable. Instead, if you're a guy who did try the original and thought it was too hard, the remaster is easier in some aspects. So yeah, if you want a game that's easier than the original, definitely this one is. So wait for a price drop on this one, because I don't think it's worth buying at full price, honestly. For the amount of work they put in, I don't think it's worth buying at full price. I'll explain why. First of all, I think it's very funny how Capcom tried to make you believe at the beginning when they were presenting, when they made the first videos, the first announcements of this game, that they were working on it like in-house. That couldn't be further from the truth. This game was made. Capcom gave this game to develop to Neobards, which they had already worked on a previous online mode for Resident Evil. I think Resident Evil Resistance. One of those online modes that were in the last few games, either 8 or 3 remake. I don't remember, but yeah, the mode that nobody played, the online mode nobody played. I think it's Resident Evil Resistance. And yeah, Neobards is pretty much a Chinese studio. So that would be my guess as to why they also censored stuff like Larry, and they removed the communist line from Clint, because they made Larry look... I mean, he doesn't look Chinese in the remaster, from what I've seen. He looks like... At best, he looks like Alf, but not really. He looks white to me. So... And second, yeah, they removed the line about the communists that Clint says when he says, "You filthy communist." Yeah, that's removed. So that's probably why, because the studio that was developing this game is Chinese. So, but as for the game itself, they did change quite a bit in terms of how the game plays. The biggest change, in my opinion, is the camera and the FOV. The camera is way closer compared to the original, and it also has a stricter FOV, field of vision, as a result, which definitely changes the game and the way the game plays, because due to this, there's also other changes that impact the gameplay, such as lower zombie number on screen overall. This game has nowhere near the amount of zombies the original had. Second, the animations. They gave this game semi-realistic animations, in the sense that the animations have to play out completely before you can You can cancel them, unlike in the original, which was very, very snappy. The original prioritized inputs, while this one prioritized animations. So your character is lower when he moves. For example, when you attack with the chainsaw, it's way slower than the original. And you also have less invincibility frames overall. So zombie grabs will grab you out of things. Like it happened to me a lot of times that I've been grabbed out of my attacks when I was attacking with the chainsaw, for example. That thing almost never happens in the original. Yet here it will happen all the time, because your attacks are way slower in that sense. So they made this game with the same mindset that the Resident Evil remakes have. So with the animation comes first and then your input. So keep that in mind. If you like that, if you hate that like me, yeah, the original is definitely better in this sense because it's more snappy in its controls. And they also changed the way the zombies spawn. So like a lot of the time, I've seen them spawn in weird ways, and I think they also spawn right behind you. As soon as you turn the camera, sometimes they will also spawn behind you. So you'll find yourself with zombies grabbing you from behind that you didn't see before, which is very, very nice. Thank you Capcom and Neobards. Other than that, the biggest improvement this remaster brings about is the fact that the moves, the inputs for the moves are less jank compared to the original. The dodge is definitely better in the remaster. It has invincibility frames. It has a cooldown. So you can't spam it, but it also has invincibility frames, and it's way more usable because the command is just directional input plus B button, unlike in the original, which was double tap on the left stick in the direction you wanted to dodge. And it also had a big recovery at the end, so it wasn't really that useful in the original game. Well, in here it's definitely the biggest improvement, in my opinion. And then some other small things, like, for example, now there's an indicator that tells you how much PP the photo you're about to take will give you. Other than this, they added a few extra books that weren't in the original. For example, they added a book that boosts the damage of fire weapons, which is definitely welcomed because the fire weapons were pretty lame in the original in that sense. And yeah, they rebalanced other things, like, for example, they nerfed the Adam's chainsaw, so it's not as powerful as before. Sometimes it won't even kill zombies in one hit. Then they also added the invincibility frames to the bosses, so you can't deplete their life bar with a snap with a chainsaw like you used to do in the original. And so they changed small things here and there. Some things are better, some things are worse. I haven't finished it yet, but I mean, I'm almost at the end, so I don't want to wait too much to give out my impressions, also because I have the feeling this game will already be forgotten by next week. So I wanna push out this video so immediately. So like I said, I would say at best this remaster is a side grade. It does some things better, it does some things worse. So I pretty much like all the modern remakes or remasters. Some things are better, some things are worse. So in definitive, it doesn't replace the original. Some things that really I think are way worse than the original are the voice acting. The voice acting is fucking atrocious in some cases. Like, the worst example is Brad. Brad is just horrible. I don't know where they found the voice actor for Brad, but It doesn't sound like a professional, honestly. And also the sound effects, the music is barely there. Like you can't. The game is very silent. The original always had music, even more music playing, but this one, I don't know what they did. It's very silent a lot of the time. Also the effects, like the explosions, the blood, the fire, everything looks better in the these things, like the blood, the fire, explosions, look better in the original. I don't know how the fuck it's possible, but they managed to screw this up. Like, other than some of the characters being ugly, like Frank. The voice acting is probably the worst thing about this game. I mean, Isabella and Jesse's models are not that bad, honestly. Actually, like, enjoy them. They are attractive. Their voice actors, though, I don't like them. But overall, the game is definitely easier. So if you're a guy who doesn't like the challenge of the original, yeah, this is definitely gonna be more up your alley. There are auto saves up your ass. There's no permadeath anymore. Like, if you die, you can continue just as nothing happened. You level up quite more easily compared to the original. It's still not completely a cakewalk because there are some difficulty spikes, but honestly, it's like a child's version of the original in this sense. So I think these are the most important things to mention, and also stuffs like the fire weapons, the shotgun, for example, feels weaker compared to the original game, for example, both in the feedback and the effects you see on screen. Because in the original, I mean, I did replay the original a few weeks ago just in preparation for this. The shotgun makes a mess in the original, but here seems like it shoots pellets. It's weird. And also, don't forget all the censorship. Like, there's no more erotica pics. That's not a thing anymore. Like, for example, when you have to take pictures of Cheryl at the end, where she asks you to take pictures of her, it just says no genre. Like, you take sex, clearly you're taking sexy pictures of her, but it says no genre, even though you still get the points for those pictures. It's like they didn't want to do it, but then they left those things in. Because it will feel like too jarring if they remove them. This game seems like it's stuck in between two viewpoints. It's weird. You can tell they weren't sure what they wanted to do, honestly. But the censorship, most of the censorship is still there. And it's stupid because this series is based on being genuine, like the games Capcom used to make during this era, the Dead Rising era. They were genuine, visceral. They weren't afraid of being also raunchy, like with sexual innuendos. I mean, they're a bit classy in this sense. They weren't like in your face, but they had some sexual stuff here and there, nothing too major, but it was appealing because it distinguished them from the other games. So to conclude, like, the game honestly it feels very half-assed. It's not worth buying at full price. Wait for a sale. And I mean, if this is the amount of care they want to put in this series, I mean, it's better if it stays dead, in my opinion. Because this is not a worthy re-release. It's not something that is worth even existing. Its presence is redundant, honestly. Yeah, they improved a few things. Also, yeah, you can skip dialogues. which is also nice. But honestly, you can skip the Otis calls as well. You don't have to just listen to him. But honestly, they were things that were manageable in the original. They didn't make the original a bad game. They're nice quality of life improvements, but they don't justify the existence of this game, in my opinion. Because the original is still better in some regards, and is still very playable. So this is it. It sucks to say. I mean, I even bought this game day one just to cover it on the channel, but that's how it is. It's kind of a disappointment, honestly. And also technically, it's nothing. I've seen there are a lot of problems technically. Quite a few bugs. Some of the quests with the survivors are bugged. Like if you go back to the safe room and then you immediately go out of the save room and go back to the game, the survivors quests disappear. For example, the one where there's the guy that wants to do his own thing and bring a bunch of survivor with him, and you have to convince him otherwise. Kindle, I think his name is. Yeah, if you don't talk to him immediately when you go to the save room and you leave the save room by mistake, he disappears. It says scoop lost, scoop chance lost, and that's it. Well, in the original, it wasn't like that. I think there's quite a few bugs in this release. So this game definitely needs a patch as well to fix all the problems, because it's not polished at all. It's like they pushed it out digital first for this reason, so they could sell some copies, and then they're gonna release it in retail on the retail version on October, I think, in October, and probably the patch will come out there, so we'll see. But like I said, it's not worth it. So let me know your thoughts. I've said everything I wanted to say, and thank you for watching.